But look, we're gonna move on. OTAs is happening. Obviously, rookie minicamp and all that went down. So we're starting to get to now where there's about 40 or 50 of the younger guys out there together. And look, I will go into this first, Will, because obviously I was the one who had my North Carolina stuff. Drake May was my guy. I was very skeptical of JD5. But what can I say? I mean, I've seen the tape. I've seen the press conferences. I've seen everything that he's kind of said. The guy puts in work. On his flight back, he's sitting here studying the playbook and getting down. I respect that. If you're somebody that's about the grind, it's about the hard work and dedication, I'm all for that. But then you get him on the field and you watch him, that release, just that quick release, just that posture, how he has it. One thing that I really love, though, and watching some of the clips and stuff, he has this anticipation. He's seeing the route. As soon as that guy hits the top of his route and makes that move, the ball is out. And obviously he's not up against that much, and some of those it's the 7-on-7, so there's no pass rush, things of that nature. But it's one of those things where it's like when you see it in front of you, it's kind of like, okay, he can work with some of the guys that we have. They showed one of the passes where he hit right over the shoulder with a fade, and it was just like, ooh, just dropped it right in there. But I think one of the biggest things that I appreciate is that he definitely downplays all of the hype that he's getting. Oh, everybody's, oh, you're this, and look at the energy, look what you bring, your maturity, all that. But he said, just we're in house, we're working, we haven't played a game yet. This is the type of things that I want to hear. Cautiously optimistic. I will always say that because of what we've seen. In my mind, I'm still saying RG3 2.0. But with that RG3, there was that excitement. There was all that. If we can have all that without the injuries and maybe some longevity, I am with it. My mind, I'm starting to get on board. We still got to play my guy Drake May in the last preseason game. Yeah. So I might become a New England fan. I don't know. We'll see. But as of right now, man, I'm excited what I'm seeing. I love the hype. I love it all, but I love that he just seems to be mature. He seems to have his head on straight, and he seems to just kind of get it. And the fact that you have Cliff Kingsbury, the fact that you have Dan Quinn doing their thing, like it's meshing. It feels good, but again, it's just June. Call me in 3 months, in September and whatnot.
Yeah, no, you're right when you talk about. There's some things that are worth getting excited over. You're hearing about his work ethic. They say he's the first guy in the building, just like he was doing at LSU. He's beaten everybody. Him and Luke McCaffrey are the first two guys to show up, and they start running routes together. I know, absolutely. I love the line he gave where someone said, they how do you feel being, new guy in town, star quarterback? And he said, I'm not a star quarterback. I'm a rookie quarterback. They didn't let him go to the draft day party. And so that I was wondering how that was going to play out. They were really trying to say, you're a rookie. You're not the RG3 rookie year hype that came in, exactly. All that stuff. But he seems to be embracing it. And it may also be the type of player that he is, for all we know, where he's more of a let me show you rather than tell you type right. thing. I've heard some of the things. I loved it when you talked about his decisiveness. Terry McLaurin said, oh, yeah, sometimes at the top of your routes, you got to turn your head because the ball's coming. Exactly. He seems to have caught on a little bit already. But this is, as Doc Walker famously calls it, this is the underwear Olympics right now.
Yep.
So,
Davis Reyes looked great at this time of the year.
Exactly. And the defense is, not hitting. They're not even putting pressure. They're not even tapping him right now. There are times where they are stopping their rush, and the reporters are saying that should have been a sack. That play would not have happened. And there were a few times they said the defense did some things to throw some looks to confuse him around the red zone, and it worked, as it should. It's early on, but right. You're hearing enough snippets from the reporters that go, hey, this guy might be fun to watch. Where it's easy to start buying in, though. It's easy, excited.
Yeah, and look, even me, who was on the other side, it's just kind of like you just can't help but just be like, oh, what, really? Okay.
I gotta hear that, Sean.
Right. Look, at the end of the day, man, look, it is a Heisman Trophy winner. It is somebody that has played at a high level, but he also does have years on him. Okay, he's in college for 5 years. You know what I mean? He's had injuries. We still know he's injury prone. You know what I mean? I've seen people and have talked about, you know, maybe some of his cons, that he's an elite rusher and everything, but how is he once he breaks the pocket? Is he still looking downfield, you know, or is he looking to run the ball? He can't always rely on that, you know. So I still have things, I still have doubts, but I think that's what we need. He's not perfect, and I love that his mindset is where it is, and how they're treating him, because you're not up here. No, you are down here. Let's get to that place where we can slowly build and grow. But then I look at some of the fact of how mature he is, and I look at him and his interaction with Tress Way over the jersey. I mean, Tress Way has been by far our best, most productive player for the last several years. And he has earned that number. And you know, I don't know how we've seen actually in that interview how much that meant to him. But for him to give that to, you know, Jaden Daniels, it's a sign of respect. Like, you're here. We are happy that you're here, and then let's get to work. And that, to me, it says something to have some of the veterans kind of look at him and say, we're about this, like, you know, and we respect how you've come in and you seem to be locked in. So it makes you feel good. Now let's make it translate to the field. Let's make it translate to some wins in the fall.
Well, let me tell you why it needs to translate on the field, because the other part I've heard is that Marcus Mariota looks terrible. And they said at the mandatory minicamp, which, by the way, full participation. Amazing how CY99's gone and everybody's showing up. But yeah, they said at the mandatory minicamp, Daniels went trotting out there with the ones at the start. And they're like, I mean, Mariota, it does not look good. I'm like, oh gosh, I didn't want this guy signed. So, you know, the fact that we need Daniels to look the part, play the part, and stay healthy. Yeah. But I did hear one thing, Sean. This is the time to get excited. Could this be the chance for De'Ami Brown? Could this be he finally has himself a quarterback? They've made some connections. They've hit on deep ball, Sean.
That's the ball, man. Come on, no, you.
maybe
I can't give him a pass anymore. I can't. He had his quarterback. He had his guy, and you still not make him look.
A whole nother level. He was open. His guy couldn't get him the ball. Maybe.
Well, it's funny because in some of those Brandon Ayuk trades, De'Ami Brown was the trade bait. He was the person.
Oh, that's trade bait. That's sure trade bait.
I mean, hey, all right. It's an extra piece of the puzzle. Look, why don't you go out there and just dominate, man?
So it was toilet paper, you know?
Oh, wow. Okay. So, look, and we'll see. Obviously, there's going to be more conversation, more talk, more hype about this. In my opinion, I mean, I want to call out our guy Ab, where it's just like, stay healthy. Stay healthy. Make it to game one. Get your progressions, continue to study. And one of the things I do like is that we're going to start having some, I believe, joint practices. Are we going to, they're going to go join with like Miami and stuff. So Jets, And see, that's something that I remember as a kid, I loved to, see if I can get over there, see if that, we can see those. Sometimes they televised.
They would scrimmage the Steelers.
Yes. I love that.
Because we were up in Carlisle. Yep.
So, yeah, definitely love that. So we will see how that all plays out.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.